Hello YouTube, this is Keith Kevin Ken. How you doing? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. So what I'm doing is I'm counting down to the new year and then some, probably into 2021, with every single Spyderco knife that was released in 2020. Every single one. I'm not exaggerating. I have them all because I'm part of the Collectors Club. If you're interested in the Collectors Club, you should Google it because I can't. It's a. Please don't ask me about it because it's explained better on Google. All of the knives that I will be showing you in this video series, I'm also doing it on Instagram, by the way, at Keith Kevin Ken on Instagram, are not for sale and are not for trade. So please, please, you guys, don't send those kind of messages, okay? They're not for sale. Um, and I'll be doing them. I should do it every day, but I probably won't. But I will be doing them. If you're interested in Spyderco, if you're interested in all of the knives that were released, Spyderco usually releases 70 to 80 knives every year. When I say knives, they're going to be the Spyderco knives that they themselves do for everyone. The sprint runs, the limited editions, and also all of the producer exclusives. And there were a lot of them in 2020. A lot of producer exclusives that are usually 500 to 600 knives. A distributor, I said producer, but really distributor exclusives like Blade HQ. We have one in this one. Blade HQ goes to Spyderco, says this is the knife I want to sell. They pay up front for 600 knives and then they sell them to you. So those are all included. Every knife from Spyderco is included. So let's talk. These are the videos I wish people would have done when I started collecting, so that at least I could see all of these different knives. This is February. I did January yesterday. We're going to do it month by month. Here's a real nice knife. Spyderco released a Delica in this orange Zome. Zome is scales. Zome is a Japanese art, painted art. And what they do is they take these FRN scales. In this case, yes, I still have fruit flies in here. In this case, an orange scale, and then they hand paint the black on it. So no two are alike because they are hand painted, and they're just beautiful. But the real thing about this Delica is it's a HAP 40 steel. I love that Spyderco, they're now releasing a lot of Delicas and Enduras with American steels or even high-end Japanese steel, like HAP. I don't know. Is HAP 40? I hate when I say something that I'm not so sure of, but like HAP 40 steel. But just a real nice upgraded steel on this. And the Delica. Of course, the Delica, you guys know from Spyderco with the back lock. They do have liners inside, four-way clip, right hand, left hand, tip up, tip down. It is a full flat ground blade as well. Remember, I'm doing the releases, all of the releases in February. Remember, there's 4 weeks in every month. Sometimes Spyderco will do 4 weeks of releases. In this case, they did that. Other times, 3 out of the 4. Sometimes only 2 out of the 4. But these are all of the releases in February. That's February 2020. Here's a real nice release. They released a lightweight Para 3 with serrated edge. I think the year before they did the plain edge black blade. And the steel is CTS BD 1-inch steel. Of course, lightweight, has the black FRN scales, the compression lock. Really a nice knife, especially if you want serrated. I believe they also have the plain edge too. I know because I dug this out of my case. I know they have the plain edge. They just didn't do it in 2020. They did it in 2019. This is really nice. They did the blacked out Yojimbo 2. Now, of course, Spyderco has been releasing a lot of blacked out knives. Actually, in 2020, I've been seeing more black blades from Spyderco than I ever have. I think one reason is the increase in the distributor exclusives, all of these exclusives. And so you need to make it different, and adding a black blade will do that. Spyderco has been doing it too. You'll see with these the knives that we'll be talking about pretty soon, the Pacific Salt series. The Pacific Salt series, the Para 3s, etc. They've been releasing the plain blades as well as the black blades on those series. So as you see in February, half of the blades that were released had black blades in them. This is the Yojimbo 2 blacked out version. What I like about this blacked out version is this is the only knife that Spyderco has blacked out, and they have a lot of blacked out knives. Look, the Para 3 right there, lightweight, is blacked out. But this is the first time they actually blacked out the compression lock, which is interesting. I've always wanted to see that, you know. I've seen them blacked out a knife, but they usually just keep the compression lock the same. Same with the liner lock inside. The liner inside, the stainless steel liner, which is really interesting. And of course, the Yojimbo 2 was created as a defensive knife, a tactical knife. Of course, with that blade, it's a wonderful EDC knife as well. But in this case, it's blacked out. So you can see the Pacific Salts on the table. All 4 of them were released in February. Man, they released a lot of Pacific Salts throughout the year. I like Pacific Salts, you know. These were created, this is part of the Salt series, if you're not aware of them. Salt series always has a rust-proof blade and is used for people who work around water, boating, swimming, or whatever. In this case, all of these have the H1 steel. And so, of course, H1 steel cannot rust. The Pacific Salt series is really what I always call is a waterproof, rust-proof Endura. It has the same shape as the Endura. This is a hollow blade. All of these have hollow blades. As you can see on the table, what Spyderco did was release the satin blade, plain blade, and the serrated blade, as well as the blacked out blade, blacked out knife with the black blade, plain edge, and serrated, as you can see there. So, needless to say, Spyderco kicked off 2020 showing you what were going to be the hot knives. We're going to see a whole bunch of Para 3s. And boy, we're only in January 2020, and already Spyderco released 3 exclusive Shamans. 3 of them. Remember, they released one last month. Check out my video where we talk about the Rosewood Shaman that was part of January 2020. In February 2020, we have the Blade HQ exclusive with the Black Blade Natural G10. This is with Crucible's M4 steel, CPM M4 steel. Blade HQ has been doing a lot of popular Spydercos in this sort of unique way, limited edition. Most of these sell out in minutes. I remember this one did not sell out in minutes, but it did sell out in a day. Again, the Shaman, nice hefty knife. This is with the natural G10 scales, which is see-through, as you can see. The compression lock, the liners, black hardware all around. Look, there's a compression lock that is not black hardware. Just a real nice knife. Again, the first 2 months of 2020, and Spyderco has 3, count them, 3 exclusive Shamans. This is a green Shaman with CPM Crewwear steel. This was an exclusive from Knife Joker that sold out quickly as well. Crewwear sells out fast every place. Again, a black blade, green G10 in this case, black hardware, liners. It's a nice solid knife. Again, big knife, forward choil. It is a jumbo size native, basically, made in the USA. Very popular, sold quickly in 2019, and Spyderco and all of the distributors, because they knew that they had a hit on their hands. So distributors went crazy in 2020. This is not the last time we'll see a Shaman distributed by Spyderco in 2020. Okay, there's a lot of them. I have a big collection of Shamans. And remember, all of these new knives, it's almost like the Para 3. Remember, we were waiting for the smaller Para 2. They finally released it, call it a Para 3. And then literally the next year, there were 10 variations. And they're still continue with the variations. Here's another thing you'll see. Spyderco started a burnt orange collection with Rex 45 steel. In 2020, they released a lot. And what they did is they released a lot of Rex 45 burnt orange knives. It's one of my best mini collections within Spyderco. I love this collection. The only thing they didn't send in 2020 is the Chief, the native Chief, which they promised in this configuration. But everything they have, you'll see it if you follow this series. But this is the Manix 2 Burnt Orange G10 with Rex 45 steel. And I say with G10 because what they did was, if a knife had already been released with a G10 and a lightweight configuration, FRN scales, in this series, they did a burnt orange G10 like they did on the native. On the Manix 2. And then later in the year, they release a Manix 2 lightweight. Same thing with Para 3. They released the Para 3 G10. You'll see all of these coming up. Para 3 G10, and then they released the Para 3 Lightweight. The Native, they released the Native Burnt Orange G10 and the Native Lightweight. These are a sprint run series. Some of these are still around. They sold out too. You might want to check them out on the secondary market. These are the knives that were released by Spyderco February 2020. We're counting down all 12 months, every single knife that Spyderco released in 2020. We're showing a picture on Instagram, and then I'm going to do a video for you guys. I hope it's something special for you. I hope you enjoy this series. It's the series I wish people would have done for me, so I could see all of the knives, because you miss them. They're on all kinds of different distribution channels. Don't forget to subscribe. It's so easy. 75% of the people who actually watch don't subscribe. Do that. It just helps me. I appreciate all of you. Take good care of yourselves. Keep those pockets full. Goodbye.